All right, so we'll now go over to Ekiti and get to hear about the security components in the scheme of things.
Well, I believe, Chamberlain, you just left Ekiti. You're coming to Abuja, where we are being joined right now by Mr. Jimo Moshood, who is Acting Deputy Commissioner for Police and also the Force PRO of the Nigeria Police Force. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning. You have heard there, you heard the last word of Mr. Chimamadi, who is saying that, who's just said that it would seem that INEC, it seems to, be trying to improve on its record, on its performance, but the same is not to be said for others in the value chain of election. Did you hear what he said?
I heard him very well.
You heard him very clearly,
yes.
And it would seem that his criticism was directed mostly to the police, because he talked about, when you talk about 30,000 policemen being deployed, how would you react to that criticism?
Thank you so much. I differ with him significantly on his remark on that, because we carry out a threat assessment of the entire Ekiti state, and as the assessment was carried out, it was analyzed, and we look at what we are going to do to address the situation, and that's what prompted the issue of 30,000 police personnel. I will not be tired of repeating it, that in Edo, we deployed 26,000. The election was peaceful and it went well. There was not any cry for anybody of massive deployment. In Ondo, 26,000 were deployed. In Anambra, the same 26,000 were deployed based on the threat analysis that were carried out. And there was no problem. Nobody complained. Nobody lamented. So in Ekiti State, in every local government of Ekiti State, we have 3 to 4 flashpoints which needed to be addressed. And it is important for him to also know that there's an arrangement in place, which is what we call the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. One, the Commissioner of Police of such a state is the chairman, co-chaired by the INEC. So we bring in input. The plaque, the Situation Room election observers, have been meeting with the Inspector General of Police, and have been meeting with other stakeholders.
Interestingly, yes, it's not just Mr. Amadi who has raised this concern. Mostly, it's been the civil society organizations who believe that the number of policemen alone being deployed. Just a moment, Mr. Moshood, let me land. The number of policemen being deployed alone, this does not include the DSS, this does not include the NSCDC, doesn't include the Nigerian Army, who most likely will be on the ground as well. Just police, 30,000. What precisely? I mean, there are also questions as to where is the place of technology in this if we're deploying so many personnel to
thank
man
you so much.
elections?
Let me, I believe you allow me to land to when I start explaining.
By all means, go ahead.
Yep. If you take, we have 2,471 polling unit stroke voting points in Ekiti State. There are actually 2,195 registered that's designated for voting. But within one polling unit, you have 2 to 3 voting points there in some. Some will have one, some will have two, and the other. You have to meet a plan, like 4 police personnel is deployed to each of the polling units that are not going to bear firearm, and 2 other from other security agencies. And you have concern in ensuring that you key down all area where hoodlum can come and disrupt the process. And that is why you see such a deployment. And I keep on saying that, one, if you have a general elections, every state will be mindful of what is going on in its own state. But when we have a single election, you can see the numbers of governors, executive governors from various political parties that are moving into Ekiti State. That should tell you that you have a lot of hand-to-hand in the other states. That will be concerned. If there's a general election, the deployment is throughout the country and everybody's concerned. But when you have a single election, you have to be very, very careful. And that is what we are mindful of. Our plan had in 3 stages. One, the pre-election period that has ended now. Then the election proper is what we are entering to. There are equally policemen that will escort material. We don't want any instances in the past when you say election material are hijacked, because the personnel that are deployed to the polling unit will not be the one escorting the electoral material. They will not be the one that will be at the rack center to protect the venue. They will not be the one when the collation starts to equally protect the venue. That's why we make adequate preparation for that period. When you go into the election proper, which is tomorrow, you may not have problem when the election is going on and people are casting their votes. When one party or the other know very well that they are going to lose, then there can be problem, and you have to respond. It is not at that time you start drafting in contingency personnel to move in there, because it is important for people to know that 35 political parties who are participating in this election. And when you look at general election, maybe fewer than this may be participating in the governorship election. And you have to make equally protection for all these 35 political parties that are participating in this election. So, and that is why it is important, even if you deploy 100,000 police personnel, the main thing is to achieve a credible, secure environment for free and fair election. And anything that will make us to achieve that, we shouldn't shy away from doing that. The election is not over-militarized. The good people of Ekiti State, from yesterday, if you call anybody from Ekiti, will tell you that Ekiti is very peaceful, even from what the election of
You're already going into another question now.
No. Let me round up. So this number.
Sorry,
if you allow me to finish this, I'll love
your point, please.
Yes. So now you can't ask me to conclude. You've asked me a question as you go to area.
Go ahead. But the thing is, now, you've answered the question sufficiently.
Now, universally, we look towards a future where an electoral officer will tie the election material at the back of a bicycle and ride to election station, to the polling unit, and get election conducted. But in as much as there are visible, identifiable threats that can distort the election, we will not allow it to happen, because who will be blamed? No any other Nigerian will be blamed for not providing security.
You know, it's theoretically, you know, as you've kind of expressed what it is that is going on, your threat assessment, etc., it sounds very, very legitimate. It sounds very much above board. But we know that in the recent experience of our kind of electoral processes in this country, there has been a very thin line between the defense of the citizens' right to participate in voting and intimidation to vote in a particular manner, or even the outright, kind of conduct of nefarious activity by the police to frustrate voting activities in certain areas. This has been the recent experience. Now, when you have this level of presence across the state, how do you assuage Nigerians that you are there to defend their right to vote, as opposed to carry out some sort of nefarious operation to favor a particular political party over the other?
Thank you so much. What you said, I disagree with it, because we don't engage in any nefarious activities to distort the process.
Can you say that in our history that has not occurred? Is that what you're suggesting?
It hasn't. In the history of the Nigerian police force, politicians should play the game according to the rule. Election is not do or die affair. If you watch out the utterances of those who call themselves leaders in the Ekiti State, even before this time, you know, there's a need for us to put up a robust security arrangement to ensure that it's peaceful. Our concern is about the Ekiti people, because they are the people that have a stake in this election. They are the people that are going to elect their leader. And we are providing a secure environment for them, so that because the moment you have an incident of snatching of ballot paper or attacks on the electorate in any polling unit, the news will spread. And people will have apathy in coming out. So this is what we are doing. The going to Ekiti with 30,000 personnel is to ensure that everything is in order, to guarantee a secure environment for the electorate.
No, your point has been sufficiently made. We understand that is where you're coming from.
I'm assuring the people of Ekiti State that the Nigerian police is apolitical. We don't belong to APC, we don't belong to PDP, we don't belong to any political party. But there are 35 political parties that are involved in this. And all of them have the right to be protected along rank, to ensure that every party is allowed to campaign. Every party is allowed to do what is expected of them in the Electoral Act. And every party have the right to have election, what do you call it, the observer at the point where the election is being cast. And we have to provide security for this. If you take, for instance, for every polling unit, you have 500 voters that are supposed to vote or above at times. So now take 4 police personnel and 2 of that security agency, ensuring security of that. If you don't have an external deployment not too far away that can intervene, they can overpower them. So that is the need where we have to ensure that police deployment are widespread and is proper
Mr.
to ensure free and fair election.
When you say that there has never been an interference in an electoral process by the Nigerian police officials,
yes,
in our history, I mean, me as an investigative journalist, over time, I have covered elections. I have seen things with my own eyes. For you to say so is clearly not true. Now, if you say that and you're adamant that that's the truth, then Nigerians are going to be questioning what else it is that you're saying that may not be true, naturally.
No. Thank you so much for saying that. You know, it's your words. Against what I'm trying to tell you.
I'm not the only one who has suggested this or said this.
We have to leave ASA. We have to base it on evidence. Even the last general elections, how many police officers, whether senior or junior, are on trial now? Look at it. How many police officers are on trial? How many police officers have been indicted or probably prosecuted for distorting the election or for probably trying to, what they call it, manipulate the election? We don't have hand in it. Even despite the fact that we have right as police officers to vote, it is difficult because you might be posted to area where outside where you are registered.
Mr.
And even, no, let me finish. Even if you are posted to area where you are registered, by the time as a police officer, you have the right, constitutional right to vote. By the time you are thumbprinting somewhere, somebody say you are thumbprinting for somebody. So there's a need for us to be able to differentiate between the ASA, between what people term as rumor, to the actual, what do you call it, situation on the ground. We have not involved ourselves in distorting the election or in any malpractices as asked to do.
So if that is the truth, why is it that even the former inspector generals of police have removed police officials from the security coverage of governors on account of the fact that those officials linked to governors have been involved in electoral malpractice? How do you tally that?
Thank you so much. If an election is holding, we guarantee security. If your action or inactions violate what we term standard and procedure, or what is expected of you to discharge your duty, definitely you'll be taken off that duty and you'll be asked to explain. Not directly responsible for distorting the election or probably causing malpractices during the election. So, but what I'm trying to say, we have put check and balances in place in Ekiti State, and that is why we are assuring the good people of Ekiti State that have been very, very peaceful throughout the process.
It will be a good place to continue from when we come back.
During the election and after.
When we come back from this break, please stay with us.